Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our first weekly review session for the 201A Business Analytics course. How's everyone doing?
Hello, Jerry. I'm doing good. It's Friday. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you too. I hope it has been a great first week for you.
So far, so good.
Glad to hear that.
Yep.
So for this course, the class happens on Thursdays, right? Oh, Saturdays. Oh, okay. So did you already have the first class meeting with Professor Apple?
No, not yet. We're actually meeting him next week since we're the hybrid course.
Oh, this is also a hybrid one. Okay, good to know.
Yep.
So it's not, the first meeting does not happen tomorrow, but then Saturday, but on Saturday the next week.
Yep.
Oh,
exactly.
Okay.
So we're just learning through online courses and the readings, lectures.
Okay.
Yep, that's the luxury of having that technology.
All right. Let's get started. I have made a little note for our review session. You can find the link on the Canvas module for TA office hours. All right, I just started sharing my screen to show you the notes I will be using. So I provided a few links that might be helpful for you to go to different pages for this class. And some expectations from participants. I have found that it's best for students to do the homework assignments before attending the review sessions. And you're also encouraged to bring questions to our review session. That's the main idea and the benefit of our meetings. And it's also important for you to participate in practice during our review sessions. And most important, it's for you to relax and have fun during our conversations. So take your cup of tea or your dinner, if you already had lunch, then we should have a good time. I also have some tips for students to be successful in a business analytics course. It's quite important to take notes either during classes and or in our review sessions. However, some students have not realized that it's also important to take notes of your Excel operations, because Excel by default, it doesn't provide a script or recording of your operations. And many times students find themselves lost and they cannot recall what has been done and what has not been done in their Excel sheet. So if there are new operations you learned in this class and which you might not be familiar with previously, it's beneficial to use some notes to remind yourself what you did in specific homework questions. It's also great if you encourage yourself to do some self-learning by Googling some new concepts. And it's also sometimes the fastest way to just make a simple search if you doubt what and how to make certain operations with Excel. Which brings us the next tip. Do not be afraid if you make any mistakes. If you ever have doubts, just test the alternative methods and compare the results. It's also a great reinforced learning if you compare your answers in homework submissions to the answer keys, which will be published by the Professor Thomas Apple after the due date of the homework assignments. And when you pick up any discrepancies between your writing and the public answers, it's quite important that you find out why there are any differences. And it's also a great tool to use equations to learn statistics. Many concepts can be simplified and summarized using an equation. During our review sessions, I will usually collect student questions in the beginning, then address each of them. This sometimes requires screen sharing from your end because, as I said, Excel usually doesn't contain a script for showing the operations. So if you had any questions and doubts, it's best to show me by sharing your screen of the Excel file. So speaking of that, it's really best if you pull up your homework writing and Excel file during each of our review sessions. And I will also bring the common mistakes and caveats through our homework questions and practice complementary and additional ones. And if time allows, we will also introduce some competing and possibly more advanced techniques. If you have questions to homework questions outside of our review sessions, you can simply email our Professor Thomas Apple directly. After the homework grades are published, if you believe you deserve a different one, then you should email Tian, the other TA, who she grades your homework questions. It won't be me. Okay, any questions so far? Well, in the different class session with the executive MBA students, we did some self-introductions. However, it took so long. So probably for this one, I assume that you know each other pretty well among you students. Am I correct? Or do you consider self-introduction part a good practice? Or probably we should.
Hey, Jerry, I think we all know each other pretty well. Thank you.
Great. Yeah, that's what I believe. Okay, then simply, I think I can do it. I can introduce myself to you. Then it seems our session doesn't need student introduction to each other, right? So I am a student in a PhD program in transportation science. I have a urban planning background. So I have studied in the University of Washington before. And right now I'm working on my dissertation projects that's about transportation studies. However, in many of my projects, I've also done marketing analysis, which is more closely related to business analytics. I have also used Excel for paper writing purpose, actually. My first paper published was conducted in Excel for data analysis part. For that project, I survey the residents about their leisure behavior. So I made some frequency charts and histograms to show how people used their time. So some of my late projects include a marketing channel analysis on user conversion. And I have also studied the relationship between turbine failure and some of their sensors. I say, I recall there were almost 200 sensors data I had to check. I have also done a marketing effectiveness and efficiency of referral incentives from experimental data of ride-hailing services like Uber and Lyft. I worked as a data analyst at Seattle DOT and also as a senior consultant for an airport analytics firm. So with that, I'd be happy to help you to go through statistical analysis concepts. In our first week's homework, questions are more friendly, probably, than future ones. The third and last question is a data exploration process. Has any of you completed the homework one?
Yes.
Oh, great to hear that. That was Karen. Would you like to share some of your experience with homework one? How did you do problem 3, for example?
Let me pull it up.
Great.
Sorry.
Yeah. As I mentioned earlier, during our review sessions, it's best if you pull up your Excel file as well as your homework writing.
Mhm. For problem 3, that was the Excel exercise, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it was pretty easy. Just went through and filtered each column to see if there was anything that looked funny. So obviously there were some negative figures and some blanks, like the professor had mentioned, and so those were pretty obvious.
Okay, how about other students? Did you have any questions regarding problem 3? Okay, so Karen, would you help us to share your screen so we can have some practice regarding question 3?
Okay, you want me to pull up the Excel file?
Yes, correct.
Okay. I'll share my screen. Okay. Can you see that?
Yes, I do.
Okay,
How
so
about other students? I believe so too. This should be automatic.
so do you want me to just go over what my answers were then?
Not just your answers, but what was the procedure
I did.
you did?
So I filtered it, and I went through it and kind of just like looked through the numbers, and the first one that popped out was this negative number because it's an annual income, and annual income can't be negative. So that immediately showed me that there was an error there.
Okay.
And then, yeah.
So Karen showed us that she used the filter function, which which creates a drop-down menu where we can find all the unique values contained in a column. And it's usually listed from the smallest to the largest. That's why she was able to pick the smallest value, which happens to be a negative value.
Yep. And then I just went through the whole, just kind of scrolled down really quick to see if people think I'm crazy because I scrolled down through things really quickly, but I can spot him. So yeah, I didn't see anything else. I moved on from there. So I clicked everything back. And then I went on to the next one, to household. There was nothing funny looking there. So then I moved on to years of post high school education, and 130 immediately popped up because that's not possible. So that was the next error I saw. Keep going.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's good so far.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you for sharing your experience.
Yeah.
And did any of other students use a different approach when addressing this question?
No, we use the same, I think. That's the only effective, or I would say, instead of scrolling through hundreds of data, yeah, filter is the right thing to, or at least the right method to observe.
Great. I also agree. However, there are alternative approaches we could take. For example, using this sheet. Let's see.
I have the Mac version, so I might not have had all the access. Because
Okay.
yeah, I was trying to do the other things that we add, the add-ons, but I don't have those options. I'm waiting to download the right software to get the correct Excels for future.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So I don't know if
Thank you for
anyone else wants
reminding
to
me.
share theirs.
I can go ahead. For
Yeah,
the
you want me
next
to?
one.
Okay. If someone else wants to share theirs, because I won't have all those other options.
What options were you thinking to
There were
use?
some like to look for errors.
Mhm.
I don't think I have it on here.
Okay.
Yeah, the add-ons where you can look for the errors.
No worries. It's not required for
Yeah.
this question, luckily.
I think that's where I have a little question when I was going through the business analytics textbook. It was introducing different types of like what if analysis, and I personally don't have those features or add-ons in my Excel. So I'm just wondering, like, do we have to independently download it somewhere else, or how will we able to get those add-ons? And I believe the professor also mentioned about having 2 specific add-ons that we need to have. But yeah, I don't know about the source.
Okay. If you were talking about what if I've seen this in the data tab, I have never used it myself, so I don't know how to how useful it is.
Right.
But if the professor mentions anything about specific add-ons, it's probably data analysis or solver. So the data analysis part will allow you to use statistical tests or regression. This is probably one of the required function, and which needs to be allowed. And it's not necessarily specific to versions, but you need to turn it on in the options tab. It'll be file options, and there are add-ins, and that's where I enabled my some of my add-ons.
Okay.
I
So for
believe
those
so.
of you that have a Mac, we can add these two. If you're still looking at my screen, you can add these
Okay,
two, but there's a third one and it's not available for Mac unless you download a software for Windows.
okay.
So
The
that's what
third
I'm
one
waiting
you
on.
mentioned is analysis tool pack or a
Yeah,
different
there's
one?
a third one that is ABA or something like that. I can't remember what it was. It's a different analysis tool pack.
Okay. Karen, would you mind reminding us how you found this add-in window?
Oh, if you're on the Mac,
Mhm.
you go to Tools, Excel add-ins, and then it goes here. If you are on a Windows, there is a file button up here you would go to, and then there's an options, and you go into your options and it'll show you a different screen. I can't show you what the next steps are. It's a lot
Okay.
longer, but it's on one of the teacher's videos. He walks you through it. But for Mac,
Wonderful.
it's really quick. It's Tools, Excel add-ins.
Oh, great. Thank you for showing us how to find these windows and buttons from a MacBook.
Mhm.
I use Windows, so it's a great complimentary session you just gave us. Okay, so I was about to bring up that to do data exploration, there are alternative approaches, which is, for example, pivot table, which creates a frequency table essentially, or a plotting. I wonder whether any of you have used these two approaches when addressing question 3.
Which tables? Can you repeat that?
I said pivot table, which essentially
Oh, I didn't
builds
use pivot for this. I
builds
know
a
how to use
frequency.
it, but I didn't. Yeah,
Okay,
I
it's
can
not required
show you guys,
yeah, wonderful.
right?
Oh, okay, great.
So you
How
would
about
just,
you
should I go
practice
slower?
pivot table? Yeah, it'd be wonderful for us to go through pivot table together. So let's look at Karen's screen together. She's about to show us how to use a pivot table, which builds a frequency table where you can also find abnormal cell values.
Yeah, so it's pretty easy. You can click anywhere on your data and then go to Insert Pivot Table. And then it's gonna automatically select new worksheet so that you're in the, or you can select existing worksheet. But new worksheet works pretty well. And if you click here, you can then click on any field that you want and how you want to filter it by columns or filters rows.
Mhm.
So let's do, how do we want to filter this? What's the best way to do it?
How about we examine annual income first?
Okay. Oops. You can just drag and pull wherever you want it to go.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah. So it automatically went to rows, if you see that.
Mhm.
Is that what you wanted me to show?
Oh,
You can-
okay.
You can select different things and
Yeah, a very good start.
yeah.
All right. Maybe it's best if I build my own, so
Yeah.
so
If
I
you
can
already
show
have a
what.
process to do it, maybe we could show you. You can show us yours because I
Okay.
didn't do this ahead of time.
All right. Well, I also need to build a pivot table on site too. Okay. So
Should I
Karen
stop
just
sharing?
yeah, you can. I think already started mine.
Okay.
All right.
Now I'm viewing it.
So Karen just showed us how to get into a pivot table. We would open the sheet we have and go to insert a pivot table. And here we need to select the table range. So basically we select all the columns from
Can I ask
which
a quick question, Jerry?
I
To do the pivot table, do we have to have headers for each column? I'm assuming so.
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe you can test.
I believe
But it's
you do.
usually best if you have a table header. Otherwise, it might be difficult for Excel to understand or to show you which column it uses. So I'm going to build the pivot table on the same page. All right. So just now we dragged annual income from the list of available columns to rows. And automatically it builds all the unique values. You will find that because the unique values is there are fewer unique values than observations because there could be repeated observations, right? So that's why this column built by pivot table is somewhat shorter than that listed in the original data column. However, showing us the unique values is okay, but we could also find other interesting things. For example, if we want to show the count of unique values, we could drag annual income again to values. Then by default, it gives us the sum of the annual income. But maybe we want something different. So we click the drop-down menu and value field, from which we can see there are quite a few different summary value we can show from this field. Other than some, we could show the count, the average, the maximum value, the minimum value, or the product among others, including standard deviation and variance. So for example, if we show the number of count, so you can find that some of the values have only one count. That means within this column, there's only one cell that has a value of a negative number. However, there are a few different, for example, on this row, it tells us that there are two observations or two accounts that had a 8.3 value recorded. So we could also adjust how this row filter is viewed. So other than showing us a list of unique values, we could also let's see, we could go to the rows and click field setting. So in other than automatic, we could also build a, oh, interesting. Let's see. I think there's an option for me to select a range. Okay, has anyone used this function before to give a range of the values? I need some hints here. Okay. So this is a way to use pivot table to build a frequency table, from where you can also find the number of counts. But I will also appreciate it if some of you have used pivot table frequently before and also know how to set a range for the row labels, so we can have some intervals showing instead of the unique values.
Thank you for showing us this. I hadn't thought about doing that with the range, which is a great idea when you have, let's say there was 5,000 line items. I wouldn't have been able to scroll down and look through the whole thing. So by doing it by ranges, you can split up the information into smaller views.
Yeah.
And then catch the errors.
Do you know how to transform this pivot table from the unique value to ranges?
To a range.
I thought previously it was built automatically, but right now I couldn't recall the way to transform it into showing ranges. However, it's a great part to discover for homework 2, which we'll use some frequency tables. All right. Another way to explore data is by drawing charts. This can be also done using the insert button. So if we go to, if we select annual income, for example, and go to recommended charts, there are a few different types of charts we can build, but only some of them make sense. So for example, for this continuous data, usually for one variable, it's good to go with a histogram or yes. So if we go to histogram, it shows us such a graph. It gives us some bins and the associated frequency. So here, for example, it shows that the income between 50.6 and $56.4 thousand, I believe, per year, has roughly 430 accounts associated with it. It also gives us the span on the range of the data, which goes from -65 to positive 137. So that's how we can also pick up some abnormality by showing that there are observations with negative income. From this histogram, which we will use to write homework 2 next week, it's important to know that the histogram by default will show us a continuous bins. So which means that although there is only one observation that's smaller than 0, it still shows us many different many consecutive bins that's negative, although most of them have 0 counts in these bins, and only the leftmost has 1 count, which is so small that it's not so obvious. But if we enlarge this graph to some extent, that we will probably notice a 1 count on the leftmost column. Yes, here finally shows that the leftmost bin has some count, which is actually 1. Whereas the other bins next to it, because there are 0 observations in these ranges, that's why it shows bars that have a 0 height. That's why we are not seeing them. So from this practice, it reminds us, before doing any further analysis of data, it's quite important to explore it using a range of tools, including the ones we just demonstrated, using a filter or sort, which shows us the unique values, or we can also build a frequency table from pivot table function or plotting. Any questions so far? Okay. I believe this is the most important part of the first homework. In the next week, we will explore more about data exploration, which is essentially descriptive statistics. Feel free to preview some of the homework tips and common mistakes beforehand. I think your homework is due each week by the end of Sundays. So you still have 2 more days to go before the first homework is due. However, if you have additional time, it might be beneficial to preview the content of homework 2, which I have summarized some of the common mistakes and hint questions, which we will explore next time, next Friday evening with you. It also includes a few advanced topics that's beyond this course, but it might be beneficial if you are already familiar with our with Excel and the content in our course, that you would like to challenge yourself with further content and additional techniques. So we still have some additional time. What are some activities you would like me to do? I could possibly go to the week 2 content if you want to explore, or if you have some additional questions regarding homework 1. Any ideas and suggestions?
No, but I think I figured out how to put the data in ranges if you want to go back to it.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. So how about you share your screen with us? Karen is about to demonstrate how to build a pivot table where we can adjust how Excel treats the rows and the columns.
You know, I have a Mac, remember, and so I'm used to using the Windows on my work computer. So I hope that these options work the same way for you guys. But okay, so I'm sharing. So I'm going to select another option like households and put it on. Or let me just start all over. Let me take this off.
It looks so colorful.
Yeah, all I did was you have your data, you put it down here, is the annual income, and I right click anywhere in the data and I have a group and ungroup button. So I'm going to ungroup it. This is your regular data. If you select group, it'll give you the lowest number, the highest number, and by how many numbers you want to group it.
Excuse me, Karen. Are you sure you're on the right sheet? What's shown to us is a Excel sheet that's called the Student Assignment Planner.
Oh, the different one. Okay, sorry. Let me try again. Is the right one showing now?
Great. Yes.
Okay. So
this is from the annual income.
Yeah.
Previously, we have this list of unique values.
Yes. So when we want to do is right click anywhere on the data and you should get a group and ungroup field.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, reminds me now.
Yeah. And you get, it automatically shows you your lowest and highest values and then by how much you want to group it to, and then you get a very nice view of your totals. If it was a very large data source, you would probably want to group by much larger numbers. Like what would happen if I do 50? Then you only have a couple.
Wonderful.
Yep.
So this procedure of building a range or intervals of data is by right click within the pivot table that's built. Oh, great.
Does that work for everyone? For anyone using the Windows, did it work? For you?
Yes, I just did that.
Oh, okay,
It
cool.
did. How about others?
No questions means yes.
I hope so.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. You can go on with the next topic.
Yeah. So I believe this is most of what we need to go through in our first review session, which addresses the first homework questions. Would you want me to help you preview the next homework questions?
Yeah, that would be great.
Feel free to send me in the comment area. All right. Let me share my screen. Yeah, if you have additional questions, feel free to type in the comment area or unmute yourself and ask me. It's quite okay if you interrupt me during the talking. That's the purpose of a homework review session. You ask, I answer. Okay. Oh, that's fine. If you are quite fine with homework 1, then let's have a preview of homework 2. Next week, we are going to explore more about descriptive statistics. I have summarized some general requirements for homework submission, which will hopefully help you to get higher grades and easier time and easier time for the other TA who's going to grade your homework. If you make her time easy, I believe she will have no reasons to not give you good grades, right? So, which includes that it's best if you submit a PDF file, so there's no formatting issues, and you need to submit a report using Word instead of showing an Excel sheet. It's also best if if we include the charts built in Excel by copy and paste the chart area instead of taking photos or using screenshots. And a third part is about the writing, where I list some principles. So feel free to go through them next time before submitting your data analysis report. So in homework 2, we are going to learn some basic cell functions or formula and build some commonly used charts. One of the formula, or statistics we will use is known as a z-score. So a short question, has any of you known or have used z-scores before? Feel free to type in the comment area, yes and no. Oh, okay. So never mind, let's leave this concept in the next week. I have included a few additional questions that might help you to understand better about the Z-score. Once after you have gone through the content for week 2. Anyway, essentially, Z-score is a simple linear transformation of original data. Another component of data exploration is by plotting. So in homework 2, we will build a box plot and maybe one or more histograms. And we also need to build a line chart and scatter plots. These can be all done by the convenient tool in Excel through insert and recommended charts. So what's important is that we always need to check whether the chart commonly built by the automatically selected options is correct or not. So I supplied some methods that can be used to do this correctness checking. By simply compare the original data with the chart we built. So for example, it's very important to make sure that the data which goes to the horizontal axis and that goes to the vertical axis is as intended. And we should also check whether the range makes sense. In our example, we already demonstrated that the chart matches this column first by recognizing that this chart is highlighted when you click. This column is highlighted when you click this chart, which shows that this chart is built solely on this column. If a chart is built on multiple columns, then multiple columns will be highlighted. So we can compare the range of from the chart and those reading from the filter function, for example, to make sure they match. Sometimes students would build a chart, for example, from the household size when they actually had in mind was to show the data about annual income. So this will generate a mistake, but Excel doesn't automatically report to you that, hey, you should have used a different column. So that's important. That's why it's important to check whether the ranges match. Same principle can be applied when you check individual elements. So for example, in a histogram, do we see any observations that's between, for example, -50 and -10 from the unique values list given by the filter function? We did not see any between -50 and -10. That's why we should not see any frequency, any positive counts in this range. And this chart shows us that the counts in this range is 0, which is good. However, sometimes we could make mistakes showing that, for example, in this range, which is currently showing 0 counts, it could be positive, showing us a high, a tall bar, which indicates a mistake. All right, I think we are approaching to the end of our first review session. Let me know if you have any feedback. Feel free to email me using the email shown in our TA office hour page. I'm glad to have so many of you in my first review session, and I hope to see you again next week.
Thank you, Jerry. Really
Thank
appreciate
you,
it.
Jerry.
Thank you, Jerry.
Bye, Karen.